To remain silent, you must look at the person in the eye for 10 seconds before saying pass.
Aren't we supposed to start like that?
Now you're supposed to start by looking into it for 30 seconds.
That's a long time.
You have 2 more minutes.
Well, that gives them time to get a notice to come on in. Y'all in here? Yay, this is gonna be fun. Hey, L. Ackland. Hey, Lakeisha Russell. Hey, girl, hey. I'm just trying to give people some time to get in, to get a little notification going. But we can start because they'll be, I mean, it is live, but they'll be able to go back and watch it on Patreon if they have Patreon. This is a Patreon exclusive.
Seems so formal.
I fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to myself on this. Come on in, come on in. Okay, we'll just go ahead and get started. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with TheAnd, it's a YouTube. What's the show? The show on YouTube is called Skin Deep.
It's like a social experiment.
Yeah, it's a social experiment. It's a show on YouTube, and it's called The Skin Deep. And so it takes two people. Sometimes they're in a relationship. Sometimes it's a mother and daughter, a mother and son. It could be exes or whatever. And the way that one of you sent me these cards. I can't remember who it was, so I do apologize. But the show is on YouTube. It's called Skin Deep. But the card game that they have is called TheAnd. And one of you sent these to me. This one is the couples edition. And I don't remember who it was, so I do apologize. But basically, it's an opportunity.
It opens up conversations that you normally wouldn't have.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And so the way that it starts is you're supposed to look at each other. You're supposed to face each other like this. And then you're supposed to look at each other for 30 seconds without saying anything. Right. So it starts like that. And then we've already pulled 12 cards. I have 12 cards. He has 12 cards. And we start, reading the cards. We read the cards out loud. And then I answer my card first. And then I give him
Why do you go first?
Huh?
Why do you go first?
Well, you can go first.
I was just asking.
But then he answered his, and then he can turn it to me. And if I want to answer it, I can answer it if I don't.
No. You always ask it back.
Right. So I read the question, and then I answer it, and then I ask it back to you, but you don't have to answer.
Correct. Well, you don't have to answer anything.
Well, that
all the questions have to be asked, but you don't have to answer.
Well, that would defeat the purpose. Okay, so you need to answer the questions. Alexa, set the alarm for 30 seconds.
No, I got it on here.
30 seconds, starting now.
Awkward pause on live. You feeling lucky?
What? You're not supposed to talk.
I didn't say that.
It does say that. You're supposed to look at each other without saying
I
anything.
didn't say that.
Alexa, stop timer. You're not supposed to talk, y'all.
It does not say you're not supposed to talk.
Well, on the show, they don't talk.
They kind of do.
No, they don't.
Well,
All right, you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
All right. So the first card says, why do you think I can provide for you? This is a money question. Why do you think I can provide for you?
Why provide for me? That's such a weird question. Why? Why can't you provide? I mean, you're a hardworking gentleman.
Talking about formal.
But no, you're a caring person, and you definitely have the spirit to provide. So when you want to, that is. Um, so yeah, I mean and you do well for yourself, and you don't mind being generous. So that's why.
Mm.
Why do you think I can provide for you?
Well, because you've been in this house for 5 years, and I know how much you make I know how much you make a year. So push come to shove, slide over, copper.
Mm.
All right, your turn.
If I decided to be a stay-at-home parent, how would that change me?
How would it change you or me?
Me.
Um,
I forgot already. I know.
I think it would stifle you. I don't think you would be comfortable doing that. I think you would feel like confined, like restricted.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would need to do more.
Mm-hmm. For sure. That's my answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you want me to answer it?
Yeah.
Or you want me to go to the next card?
Yeah, you're supposed to ask me the same question. You see the card?
Yeah. If I decided to be a stay-at-home parent, how would that change me?
To be honest, I don't know if it would change you much. Just because you are able to work from home. I'm just saying. I'm speaking like from our experience, together right now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't necessarily seen you, travel yet when it comes to work. Which may happen, but for majority of it, I think you could. I think to a certain degree you would like. I don't know, because you can work from home, so I don't think it would necessarily bother you, being able to raise the kids at home, because you can still, make your money and do all that you do at the same time.
Yeah, see, I think that kind of speaks more to not just working at home, but being at home with all of the home responsibility too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would change me.
Right.
Like, I think that would be a lot. Like, I mean, I could see myself doing it.
Well, listen here. He became a stay-at-home mom. You better believe.
Stay-at-home mom.
Well, parent. Sorry.
The fuck?
You would have, the nanny and the house.
I would have to have all that.
So it's, you would definitely be the type of parent who would have help. You wouldn't try to be doing everything.
I sure
yourself.
would.
So, yeah.
I'd have to have somebody to come over and cook.
Right.
I could go and pick up the kids from school and drop them off. Stuff like that. All right, you ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you find these cards?
I shuffled.
Do you wish I made more money? Why?
No. I don't think relationships are about money, so that's never been something I sought after. As long as like one thing that I've always been attracted to is not necessarily how much you make, but more so like the passion and the drive that the person has in whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily say what I don't want to say be attracted, but you don't have to have a 6-figure job starting out. But if you don't even have to be doing your dream yet, but if you have like a plan set up to do it, I think that's what's attractive. So I don't think I don't.
Mm-hmm.
What, wish you had more money, made more money? No, he helped pay the bills.
Do you wish? Oh, that's your turn.
Yeah. He takes a second to catch on to the game. Do you wish I made more money? Why?
Hell yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think it really matters at this point because we don't have our finances merged.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, even if we did, I mean, you do well. So I mean, like I tell you guys all the time, when you combine whatever you make with whatever your partner makes, you can have a great living. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if the question asks, like, if as a couple, do I wish we made more money? Yes.
Well, the answer is always yes to that.
Yeah. And I think it's important to help each other build and grow on what we have, and always try to strive for, bigger and better things. So,
Mm-hmm.
what?
I'm just looking.
Oh my God! Why is everything pertaining to money?
That's what I'm saying. It seems like you chose all money cards. Well, the next one is not.
How would you describe my relationship with money?
You cheap as hell.
Cheap or frugal?
Cheap.
No.
Yeah. And you're frugal when it comes to certain things, but you're cheap. And I think that's a part of what you're getting or learning from me. I think that relationships are about teaching. And I think one of the things and I've thought about this before, I think one of the things, in fact, I had a conversation today with Madison, and she was saying to me that this year, now that she's, when she travels, she's going to start flying first class. And she's saying, yeah, it's extra money and stuff like that. She said, but I believe that when you open yourself up to stuff like that, more of that comes to you. And I feel the same way about money. I feel like, and that doesn't mean live above your means, and that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, when you have respect for money and you understand that what you put out always has to come back. Even the lesson that I had to learn recently with the student loans, it's like I didn't want to have to spend the money because it was like, oh my God, my savings, da 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 da. But at the same token, it's like, well, that's what you save money for, to spend it. Like, you can't take it with you. So, like, if I didn't spend it on the student loans, then what was I going to spend it on? Eventually, you got to spend it on something. And so I kind of look at it like that. But I think that you will spend money on stuff that for the house. Like, you'll spend money on stuff like that, where I've never really cared about that. But I guess because I haven't owned a house until now, and maybe my priorities will shift. But I mean, I always wanted a comfortable place, but I always like a nice coat, a nice pair of shoes, a nice watch, but still have a nice place to live, at least. But I didn't care about spending $1,800 on a TV. You know what I'm saying? Where you'll kind of flinch when you're spending $300 on an article of clothing. And I'm just like, well, depending on what it is, it might be worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because I have shoes that I bought, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago that I spent $500 on, but I still have them. And I change the sole on them. I can wear them out there today. And somebody will be like, oh my God, where'd you get those shoes?
I tell that story every damn time.
Because it's a good story. But okay, what was the question? How would you describe my relationship with money?
Frivolous.
No, I am not. You think I'm frivolous? What do you think I'm frivolous on? You think I'm frivolous?
I mean, in just some manners, but
I like to live well.
But it's more so. I mean, you kind of already described like our differences in our relationship with money. It's like, what I spend my money on is like what I value. What you spend your money on is what you value. And they're, they don't, for us, they don't align all the time. And so, like, when you do certain things, I'm like,
like what? Like, what's the last thing?
Well, my biggest thing is clothes. Like, it's just, I don't go out and buy clothes like that. So, so for me, like, just to see someone just like, oh, I'm gonna get this, and this, I was like, that could be like used for something else, But like, it's just like, but, and I don't want to say it's just frivolous, but it's just, because I always look at it like, well, I spend money on this, so it's no different. We just have our own vices when it comes to spending. But I also don't necessarily know, like, I know how much you make, and I know, I don't know how much you make in regards to, like, how much you save versus how much you spend. I don't necessarily keep track of that to say that, yeah, you're spending, too much money. But at the end of the day, it's your money.
Marie, we ain't supposed to look at y'all. The whole premise is we supposed to look at each other. Just get in here and listen. But the thing too, though, is I don't spend, like, I'm not gonna take no bill money and go buy no coat or no shoes. I've never been like that. Not even in my 20s, I didn't do that. But I think that when it comes to clothes, it is important to buy staple pieces. And when you buy those staple pieces, to buy good pieces, because when you walk into a room, whether it's a business meeting or whatever it is, or you're with a client or whatever it is that you do, that's the first thing, one of the first things that they notice, you know, is how you show up. You know what I'm saying?
Now, not to say I don't spend money on clothes. It's just not often.
He gets buyer's remorse when he buys clothes. And the other thing is, excuse me, I don't think you can really put a price on travel, like experiences. Yes,
that I've never been cheaper.
right. Yes, everybody, you have to travel with a budget, of course. I'm not saying you go and stay in a $500 a night hotel if you can't afford it. But what I'm saying is spending money on the plane ticket to get to wherever it is that you're going, and you know what I mean? Like, those are experiences that you can't really change. I've never been the kind of person that's going to spend money on a crazy kind of car. You know what I mean? But, you know, I like to eat out.
Right.
So,
that's why I said, like, I value my house, and I will also pay for experience.
right. I like experiences. Like I tell you guys.
Like, when we go out to eat, we definitely easily will rack up the bill. But I'm like, we're here. Let's try, you know, something that's good.
Because I like to try multiple things on the menu.
Right.
And he does too. So we'll end up ordering like 2 or 3 appetizers, and we'll both order an entree, so we kind of share that. But then we'll kind of order different kinds of crafted cocktails on the menu. Because again, it's an experience, and you can't.
Right. And that, I think for me, that's more valuable than, you know, tangible,
right,
you know, items. And like, so, yeah.
Right. Is my time?
Yeah.
A damn another money card. How is money a source of conflict in your relationship?
They're not all money.
Huh?
I said they're
Yeah,
not
no,
all
this
money.
one, I was like this next one. How is money a source of conflict in our relationship?
How is money a source of conflict? I don't think money's ever been a conflict with us. Well, when we go out to eat.
I was waiting for you to say it.
That's the only time. You know, it's more so like, because I don't necessarily, you know, keep track of like who pays for this time versus, and so I'm just like, you know, I mean, you get it, I get it. It doesn't really matter to me, but you know, I lose track, and I'm like, well, I don't know who it is, and so normally when I suggest, you know, or don't put my card down right away, he's like, you got it. So you know, that's, and I'm like, okay, cool, but.
Okay, but here's the thing. So I was going to say the same thing. I think that it's the same. We don't conflict. We don't have any friction over money. Yeah, I think it is. It's definitely that. Like when we go out, it's like, who's going to pay this time?
But we're working on it because we're thinking about getting a joint.
Right.
So that problem will be solved.
Right. And so I had proposed, but he wasn't ready. And this is the thing. Both people got to be ready for whatever it is. And so I had proposed some months ago to do just like a joint account just for like our, you know, like if we go out to eat or like we've traveled a few times together now. So I was just saying, well, let's just say we both put the same amount of money into an account. So then when we go out to eat, it's not a matter of, well, whose turn is it to pay? Because we're going to use that same card. It's going to come out of that same account. And when it gets down to a certain amount, we'll put the same amount back into that account. But he wasn't ready at the time, which was fine, right? So then it just became a thing of, okay, well, whose turn is it? And then, you know, for me, I'll just pay and I'll just go and just keep it moving. I do so. And then it's just like, lately, he'll just say, well, is it my turn or your turn? And I'm like, I just paid for the last 3 times we went out. Why is it my turn? But he doesn't keep track. And not to say that I keep track, but I just have a better memory.
Moving on.
All right, so we got the same answer for that one.
What do you think I question about myself?
Okay, so this is somehow tied into, I'm about to land on it, but this is somehow tied into your upbringing and not ever feeling like you were accepted by black people or accepted fully by white people. Carlton grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, so it's mostly white. And so when he was around black kids, he wasn't black enough for the black kids. And then around the white kids, sometimes they would, be white. So I think somehow that's still kind of, what's the question?
What do you?
I think I questioned about whether or not you ever really fit in. That's what you questioned.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, before I knew him, you guys may remember this. I used to say, when I was single, I used to say, the guy that I meet needs to be countercultural to the gay community, meaning he's not immersed in the goings on. Like, he's not at the club every week. And, because I just sometimes feel like the gay community, and I can only speak for the black gay community, it's just a bunch of clones walking around. Everybody walking around with the same haircut, wearing the same sneakers, wearing the same outfit, the same lingo, all that kind of stuff. Doing this, participating in the same stuff, almost because they just don't have a mind of their own. So I used to say, like, the guy that I get with, he has to be countercultural to the black gay community. And I said, I really would like a black guy who's black and he knows black stuff, black culture, but he has a lot of what would be considered white interests. Because people have told me that my interests are bougie And so when I met you, I was like, oh yeah, this is the perfect blend, right? Because you're like me in the sense that we don't like to do the same typical stuff that everybody else is doing. Like going out to the same little spots, having drinks. I've always liked going to like little hideaways for like a drink. I don't have to do the stuff that's on the beaten path. Like down, like a lot, like Gay Pride was last week or the week before, and people were like, "Oh my God, did you hang out in Gay Pride?" I was like, "No," But and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I've evolved past that, and it's time for the next generation to do that. And so for me, I just wanted to be with somebody that wasn't at every Gay Pride event. They wasn't at the white party and the black party and on the scene.
Well, I think to bring it back, I think we talked about this actually is. Kind of going back to what you said earlier was the fitting in thing is, growing up, I never actually felt like I fit in. Like I had friends, but in my mind, I was still the outsider. So today in adult life, when I do get into certain circles, like I'm always trying to not necessarily impress, but go over and beyond just to, I guess, be the cool kid in a sense. And
that plays out when we have people over. Because, see, part of it is I've never been a people pleaser. And to a degree, every single living person thinks about what people think to a degree. But we care at varying degrees, right? And I just feel like I'm on that end that really doesn't give a damn. But I still care because I'm still human. So, like, when we have people over, he'll want to run home and clean up and do all that. Well, I'm the kind of nigga, I'm just like, fuck that. These are our friends. We ain't got to be cleaning shit up. Not because it ain't never anything like it ain't like it's filthy in here. It ain't like it's dishes on the sink and stuff like that. But he'll want to blow the leaves from the driveway. And I'm not doing all that. I'm like, we ain't sitting in the driveway. We sitting in the house. So that's the kind of thing that he'll do. And I'm just like.
It's all about the experience.
And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, if they're our friends, they shouldn't be judging us on little dumb shit like that. But anyway.
So, yeah.
So is it my turn to ask you? What do you think I question about myself?
For you, I think that's a hard one to answer. What do I think you question yourself about? That's really a hard one. Because he's so, outgoing and, you express yourself. So it's almost never like you have any, like, doubts. I sometimes think maybe, if anything, you may question yourself about, I don't know, does it sound like maybe the trajectory of your career, maybe? In regards to, you're successful, but I sometimes think you may be questioning which side of the tracks you're on when it comes to success. because you're kind of in between two worlds, between being a writer and then the YouTube thing, and now the TV show. And so I think sometimes you'll be on one side one moment and then get caught up in the other side, and it's like, oh well, I kind of really want to do this. So I think sometimes you're back and forth, and I think you kind of question like sometimes when do you choose to be on one side?
That's really close. The thing that I question is what's next. What am I on? Am I on course? I'm always asking myself, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And that's kind of like what I pray. It's like, well, what is it that you'll have me do next? Like, what is it that you want me to do? And so, but there's a part of me, there's like this inner knowing, kind of like I always knew, and I hate to bring this up again, but I always kind of knew that I would somehow get to those student loans. I didn't know when it would be, because like I've never paid anything on my student loans. I just kept putting them in like forbearance and stuff like that. But there was a part of me that was always just like, well, you'll get to them one day. And I kind of feel like that about like the scripts, because I have scripts that are on my computer for like TV, for the stage play, and for the books. But there's a part of me that just feels like, well, you don't really have to do that right now, because something's going to happen where it's going to take care of itself. So kind of like with the whole Suzanne the Past thing, you guys know that. I'll share that with you guys. If this thing happens the way that I want it to, and we do get a TV show out of this Gay Like Me thing, I'll be in the position to say, okay, Suzanne, listen, I got these scripts. We need to assemble some writers, and that. I feel like it's just going to make it happen in that way. Like I don't have to try to force it now.
Right.
So yeah, it's my turn. What do you think I believe my sexiest quality is?
I would say your lips. I think that's what it is. What do you think I believe my sexiest quality is?
Well, I think your sexiest quality is your legs, but you probably would say your hair or something.
I don't know. I don't know if I ever. I never thought about like me having a one quality kind of thing.
Oh, so you kind of all around. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just never thought like, oh, this is my thing. Let me flaunt this. I've never really thought about that. I just, in my mind, I'm just me. Like you like it or you don't. Like I don't necessarily try to single out something on me that I mean, to be honest, I actually think my sexiest quality is probably my gift. I would say gift of gab, but
charm or something.
Yeah, like something like it's like that. It's more like the intellect's part of it and being able to, kind of. I win people over with my mind normally. So I mean, maybe that's what that is. Sometimes I use that to my advantage. That's what got you.
That's your turn.
In what ways do my friends reflect who I am?
Corny. In a not corny, cheesy. Like this cheesy kind of hip kind of way.
I don't know what he's saying.
It's just like, so for example, like sometimes when I come to the house and he's here and he could be in the shower, he's playing show tunes and they're like blasting through the house. Like anybody else, we'd be playing R&B or, some hip hop or whatever it is that you listen to. He playing like, what's that soundtrack you listen to? It could be Little Shop of Horror. It could be Dream Girl, Wicked. What's that other one? Hairspray. He'll be in there singing like this. And I feel like Portia kind of has this little quirkiness kind of about her. Talitha definitely got something. It's just kind of like a cheesy kind of You know what I mean? We all kind of have that, like,
Keith and I will break down some Disney music.
right? Like he'll be blasting like Disney stuff through the house. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
In what ways do my friends reflect who I am? I'm listening. Who you think about?
Everybody. I mean, all your friends like are good quality, so that definitely reflects who you are because everyone looks up to you, respects you. They all have this very professional mindset, So that just shows who you surround yourself with. People who are goal driven and they're doing something with their lives. So that says a lot of value. So I would say that.
Oh. Why?
Also, a lot of his friends are just like goofy, so that also, and as you guys know, he tries to be goofy, so definitely gotta have a sense of humor around him.
Do you feel financially secure with me? What is with all these money things?
I wonder if they're like
I think it's separated.
separated, but yeah, they are.
You want to skip that one?
Yeah, we can.
Because we kind of answered that one.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll still be this close in 15 years? Why or why not?
I would say yeah, because I think we've kind of touched on this in regards to like, as a couple, we need to make sure that we're always like, making sure that we, are affectionate with each other, making sure that there's a sense of of us evolving through the entire time, and that getting to a point where we kind of become stagnant. I think we kind of talked about making a goal. So I think I can't say that we will for sure, but I think we will definitely put in the energy to make sure that we kind of change up the relationship and continually evolve the relationship. Because I think you should always be learning about your partner because your partner changes throughout life. So it's like continually knowing them more and more and more down the line. So.
Do you think we'll still be this close in 15 years? Yeah. The first thing I thought about when I read this was, in 15 years, I'll be 60. And you'll be my age. You'll be 45.
Still young.
Don't sleep, because at 60, Angela's 60. Don't forget. And y'all thought Angela was late 30s or early 40s. So that's what it's going to be given for me. Like one of the things he said to me when we first got together, well, what if we have kids? Like, you're going to be an older dad. I said, well, you think you're still going to be 30? You're going to be older too.
This is another money one, but I'm curious. When was the last time my financial habits pissed you off?
I don't think it has. Yeah, I don't think it's ever bothered me. Because, I don't really think you blow money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, if I gotta pull something, and I don't remember when this was, but we had gone shopping. You had bought some clothes. I don't know if I bought anything or not, but you bought clothes, and we had spent all this time in the store, and then the next day or so, you went and took all that shit back. He took everything back except for
everything.
He may have kept like one or two things.
If I didn't like it, I don't like it.
I don't know if it's that he didn't like it though. I think it was more of a thing where he just kept thinking, do I really like this enough to spend this or to keep this? But like again, like this TV that's up here, he spent $1,800 on that TV. It's one of those.
But I've been wanting it for like 3 years.
I would never spend $1,800.
So it's not like I just up and drop the money.
I would 3 years, 5 years. I would not spend $1,800. I can't imagine. Now I'm not gonna say what I would never do, but I don't think I would spend $1,800 on the TV. It's one of those TVs where when it's off,
it's called the frame.
It's called the frame TV.
It's
what's
a
it,
TV.
Samsung?
Yeah, it's a TV, and it acts as
A portrait.
Yeah, so you can interchange.
So you can change the artwork on it.
Right.
So like when the TV is off, you can put a different picture up there.
Right, and it's also because the way I have it set up, having a TV over it would completely kill the design of the credenza I have. So I was like, I want a TV in the living room.
But you wanted some art.
Right, I wanted to be able to put art above it because that's what it looks like it should have.
So like he didn't have any type of buyer's remorse with this, but like he'll have buyer's remorse about some clothes. Oh, some sneakers. So like he didn't have any new sneakers. And he finally went on Converse, and Converse had a sale. And then I had a coupon for like 10% off. So he had like 7 pair of Converse in the shopping cart on his on the website. But what was the total? The total was like, it wasn't nothing crazy because, like I said, the sneakers were all on sale, and then I had a percentage off card. Mm-hmm. He left the damn sneakers in the cart so damn long that the damn coupon expired.
I do that when I online shop.
But the point is,
the cart if I like them, and then I'll let it marinate if I really want to get it or not.
But the point is, he just kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and I was just like, "But you don't have no sneakers." And then like when we go out, he changing clothes 3 and 4 and 5 times because you don't have that many options because you take everything back. Same thing with this gold necklace. He just bought this gold necklace. Where were we? With Nan. Mm-hmm. We went to the outlet right before Nan went to California. He been wanting a gold necklace for 3 years. How 5 years? 5 years. And see, I just think life is too short. If you want a gold necklace, go get a gold necklace. I'm not saying put yourself in financial ruins, but I'm just saying. So it's been 5 years, and so he vacillated over this necklace, and he looked at it. Mind you, we looked in Lenox Mall months before that. Then we went to this store up in the outlet, and he kept looking at it. Well, do you think I should do it? And he kept looking, and then he handed it back to the girl. He finally went on and bought it. L. Ackland said I would definitely spend $1,800 on that TV. But anyway, so that's the only time that I can think of. But I wasn't frustrated. That's the thing that I thought about, though. It was just like you spent all that time in the store and then went and returned everything. Mm-hmm. Is it my turn?
Yeah. I don't have anything that you pissed me off about. So
if I had the opportunity to work in another country, would you come with me?
I'd be open to it.
How you gonna work in another country?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm open to it, but I would have to look to see what could I do in that country. But I don't know. It would also be hard because I was like, my mother would have a fit. She would lose it.
Mm-mm. She hated that he went to California for work. I'm like, girl, if you don't leave him alone. Go ahead. You gotta ask.
If I had the opportunity to work out of the country, would you come with me?
I mean, I can work from anywhere in the world, and you all wouldn't be able to get no autographed books because I'm not shipping no books from out of the country. But I could still stream from another country. I could still promote Pay for Your Say. I could still do my little market research stuff. So, I mean, yeah.
It also depends on where, because what I do, I have to communicate a lot. So I think it'll be more of a struggle for me to transition, especially if I want to stay in the film.
Right. Yeah. It's your turn.
Which one of my friends don't you trust?
I don't have a friend. I can't think of anybody that I don't trust. Any friends that I don't trust. If this was some months ago, I probably would have said Will. But not in terms of, just in terms of not trusting in the sense, and I knew Will before Carlton did. But I just mean in the sense of, okay, so for example, and it's only because this question came up. They were going to go into a partnership together. This is before somebody put Will. They were going to go into a partnership. This is before I knew them. They were going to do an event space or something together. Mm-hmm. And it ended up falling through for whatever reason. And then when we did get together, I told him, I said, you dodged the bullet because he's fiscally irresponsible and you would have ended up catching the slack and trying to, carry the weight and all this other. He'd be, oh, I'll pay you next month, child. Just go ahead and take care of this,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Which one of my friends don't you trust?
Well, the ones that I've met, everyone seems trustworthy. Like I said, you surround yourself with quality people. So there's no one that I've ever gotten like a sense of, like I felt like they were sneaky or would do something behind your back or anything like that, or didn't have, your best interest.
Mm-hmm. It's my turn.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm insecure about?
I sometimes think you're a little insecure about like your image at times because you're very protective of it. So sometimes I have a sense that you're this person that you've built yourself up to be. That's
What you mean when I'm protective of what?
just like perfect example recently, like when Nan accidentally said or was talking about diseases. You stopped.
Oh no, I was really joking with Nan.
That in a heartbeat, just because you're joking, but I also think at the same time, you were just very conscious of someone out there possibly saying that you may have, but I just think so, but I think that's just one example. But there's other little examples I think that I've seen where it's like you want to make sure that there's no or
information
about you, and if you think it, you will definitely make sure it's corrected. So.
Well, in that instance with Nan, I was really joking. I didn't, but I will say when I first started working with Madison, I was definitely very much so, conscious of certain things. Like when she would joke about certain things or she would say certain things, I would kind of like tense up because I was like, oh my God, did she just say that on the line in front of these people? You know what I mean? Like I was always kind of, but yeah. The thing that I would say that I'm insecure about, well, I ain't supposed to answer that one.
No.
Oh. Okay, what are you?
No, now you have to. You supposed to answer. What do you think?
I think you're insecure about. I don't know. I would say your personal image. Like you always worry about your skin. Ooh, I got a little bump right here. Ooh, let me and then like how you'll change clothes 3 and 4 times. Like we could be going out and you'll change clothes 3 and 4 times, and I'll just be sitting to the side waiting. I think you're a lot more conscious of what people think of your appearance than I am. And I mean, one could argue, well, there's an age difference, so maybe I don't care as like you do. But even when I was younger, I never really cared. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing was always, I know what I'm capable of. So you may catch me on a bad day today, but you know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm capable. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like when we went to Jack's thing the other day, and we had the doors off the car and the top back. He goes, "Oh my God, my hair's gonna be a mess when we get there." And I'm just like, because I always say to him, it's okay for
anybody
to have like a little rugged.
Anybody would be upset if you did your hair and then you got in the top back and the shit.
Meanwhile, it was his idea to take the doors off.
Well, I didn't think that much through it until we got in that car and the shit was blowing everywhere. I think that's common for anybody. So, that's a great example.
It's my turn or yours?
Mine.
Oh, I'm getting tired, y'all.
But I will say though, you're somewhat correct about image, and it's also because growing up, I've always felt like an outcast. I was I was a little chubby, or so now that I'm older, and I moved to Atlanta, and now it's that thing where it's like now people are like, oh, you're so handsome, this and the third. I sometimes still cringe when people say that, but so now I'm just more conscious. So it's almost like oh well, let me put myself together. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, how do you? We'll skip that question. Let's do. Let's see.
Oh yeah, especially from the TV show. That's a good point.
What do I do that detracts from our relationship?
Detracts. What exactly do they mean? That pulls away from it or takes away from it?
Nah, that's how I would
Let me
interpret
see.
it.
That's what you think?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Detract. Diminish worth or value. The only thing that I can think of is when I feel like you need to cut off. Like he'll drink, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm good. I'll have." And then it's like when it's time to go, you just kind of like out of it. Not all the time, but every blue moon you'll do that, and that just kind of grinds my gears. It's just like, why didn't you just stop 2 drinks ago? Like I don't understand that. But that's the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing? What do I do that detracts from our relationship?
I don't know if it's a detracts, but you know, I've mentioned it before. Sometimes it's the way you say things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that does it. It's you know, sometimes it makes me feel as I'm being talked down.
But the thing is, like yesterday, like you snapped. Okay, so here's a perfect example. When he showed me the menu for Mexico, and you showed me the menu, and I was just like, and I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, I would like fish. What does it
That's
say?
not exactly how you said it. But
no, what did I say?
Well, but I know.
I said I want fish tenders or whatever it said on there. I said I want fish tenders. He said, we ain't getting no fish tenders.
But it was more so like for me, my mind was more like a joke. You know, like we're not doing that. That's American.
Right. So it was just, so then I was just like, well, everybody don't want ceviche for breakfast either. I said, you know, Nan ain't gonna eat that. And he was like, see, why you gotta talk to me like that? I said, did you not hear how you just said that to me? I said, so you always notice when I say something strong.
But in my mind, I said it as like a joking thing when it didn't necessarily have, because you went through the whole menu with an attitude. No,
I did not.
I didn't even read the last bit.
Okay,
but anyway, I
think that sometimes when I say what.
Yeah, and I don't think it's always necessarily intentional, but sometimes you know you just kind of just I don't know. Your tone always just sets a whole mood, or can just change a whole mood rather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll work on that. When do I hurt you?
When did or when did?
When do?
Probably what I just said.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's the only time. Yeah, I don't know if to say like it's a hurt,
Right.
but more so than just like a something that just kind of like grinds my gears at times. I don't know if it's a hurt thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When do I hurt you?
When we have a disagreement about something, sometimes I sometimes feel like you say things, and I've said this to you before. I feel like you say things that are so final, and sometimes it makes me feel like, sometimes I feel like you say things that I would only say if I wasn't trying to come back from it. Mm-hmm. And I sometimes feel like you say things that are so final, and it's just like, you want me to try to bounce back from that? Or something that you'll do. Case in point, just full transparency, the last time that we got into an argument was when I was going home to see my mom when she was sick that time, back in, what month was that? July. It was right before we went to, it was right before we went to Jamaica. Wasn't it right before Jamaica? Mm-hmm. I think it was before we went to Jamaica. And I don't even know what we got into the argument about. But then, like, you packed up all of my stuff that was here and put it up in a box. And then when I said something to you about it, you were like, "Oh, I was just helping you pack some of your stuff." I was like, "First of all, I'm not packing winter stuff in July to go home to Baltimore." You know what I mean? Like, so like that to me hurt my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I didn't know. First of all, I was so stressed out about what was going on with my mother, having to fly out there and, you know, whatever. And then to deal with that argument that really was silly, which again, I can't even remember what it was now. But it just made me feel like this ain't how I argue. Like, this isn't, yeah, this wasn't cool.
Right.
That's how I felt.
Right.
Oh, that was a hard one.
I think I do know what I just thought about it. One, I think if anything that hurt, I was really trying to think like, what do I get my feelings about?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's sometimes when you don't feel like you need to participate in something I ask you.
Like what?
Just like sometimes where it's like, you know, I'll ask you, you know, you want to do this? No, I don't want to do that.
Like what?
I don't know. It's just like if I want to go somewhere or do something, you know, I don't want to do that. You know, and which for me, which is fine because you have that very right. So I never necessarily bring it up because for me, like, but that comes from me always trying to be a people pleaser. So I rarely say no to things. And so sometimes I admire you because you do, you know, put your foot down. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. But for me, I'm just like, well, I mean, there's things I do that I don't want to do, but I do it anyway. So, you know, that just sometimes it just sometimes makes me feel like you're just not interested. But I've already kind of thought through that process. Like, no, that's not what that means. But sometimes I still kind of.
Only thing that I can think of that, like when you went to the dog park, and I was like, no, I don't want to go. What did I end up doing? You went with Tony and Tevin.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up doing something else. I don't remember what I did now. I think I was with Marvin and Sherry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had just come from brunch. We had just come from the drag brunch. And then I went to meet Marvin and Sherry when you went to the dog park.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to that point, like I just, you know, I sometimes feel like you think that every time we do stuff, we always have to do it together. Like, it's okay if I don't want to do something, or it's okay if you don't want to do something. Like, I don't get upset. Like, if I say, hey, well, you want to do this? And there are times that you're like, well, no, I'm just going to, you know, there are times that you won't do something.
Well, that's what now I do. I didn't always. Now I do because I'm slowly learning.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. And I, you know, learn
Right.
from you, but, you know, prior to that.
Because, like, there are times that Nan and your mom will be like, if he'll go over to his mom's house, and I sometimes don't want to go, you know, because he'll sit over there for a while, which is fine. But sometimes I just want to be here at the house or whatever. And when he goes over there and I'm not there, Nan will call me, or his mother will call me and be like, oh, you didn't want to come over here. And I'm like, girl. You know what I mean? Or he'll be like, you'll ask me like twice. Like, he'll say, you don't want to go with me just for a little bit? Like, just to. And I'm like, well, no, I really don't want to go. But sometimes I will acquiesce and I will come. And I'll be like, okay, come on, let's go. What do I do that makes you reconsider being with me?
I feel like that's kind of favors off, piggyback
off the last one. Okay,
that's
go. What would make you leave me?
Physical violence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing. Yeah. Just because I'm the type of person where, to a certain degree, I feel like if two people really want to be together, despite mistakes, that you can work through it, or at least try to work through it. But the one thing I think that's just a no-brainer is physical abuse. Because I at that point, I think the relationship is kind of dead if you, you know, you're wishing harm on the person you love physically. You know, I think that's, and I think if it happens once, it could possibly happen again.
And all of the people that have had physical stuff in their relationship and they still together, like, oh, but we still together. For me, it would be drugs. Like I dated somebody who was, I found out once we were already, you know, seeing each other, he was on coke.
But like even like with the, I mean, like sometimes that can be worked through.
But yeah, see, I'm not working through that. For me.
Yeah.
And you know, I always say cheating too. Like I just don't know if and I say that, and I know a lot of people have worked through cheating, and I always look to people like, and I don't mean like incessant cheating. I mean like that isolated thing where it happened at one time. But the thing is, you don't know that it's only going to be that one time when you're in this situation. Right. You have to put your heart on the line and continue the relationship, and you risk it happening again. But I look to people like, you know, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like, and from the outside looking in, it looks like it made their relationship stronger, because I do think that sometimes when somebody steps out, and I'm not saying if it's like an ongoing thing where they've had a relationship with somebody that was going on for a year. I think sometimes when a person steps out, it can, you know, recenter the relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because I think it, you know, it shakes it up enough to make that other person realize it's not worth me losing what I have.
Right. But I know me, and I don't know if I'm the kind of person that's made of the kind of stuff required to get through that.
Right.
I just don't know. Like, I think I'm a very strong person in so many areas and so many aspects, but I've always said my peace of mind is more important to me. Because if I call your, like, I'm not a person where if I call your phone and you don't answer, I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Or if I text you and if I text you and it takes you a while to text me back, I'm not that person where I'm like, well, what is he doing? He ain't texting me back yet?
Right.
But cheating makes people become that. And I think I would become that. And so my peace of mind is more important. And I just don't know if I would, like, I'm not going to be checking phones and doing all that, but cheating would cause me to be looking and trying to see what I can find and trying to catch you in the act. And then I'd be worrying and wondering, well, where was I when he was doing it before? Like, how did I miss it? And like, it's just too much. And so, like, I just don't know if I would. Yeah. And I don't know if I would want to work through that. But I shared with you guys that story about One True Thing, that movie with Meryl Streep. And I'm not going to tell the story now, but I told that story before. And she said in the movie when her daughter found out she was cheating, that the husband was cheating, Meryl Streep said, there isn't anything that you know about your father that I don't already know. And she said, but when you wake up next to a person 1,000 mornings in a row, there's certain things that you learn to start to overlook. And I just don't know if and I mean, I've had people tell me that before.
I think it also depends, like,
how much you built together.
Right, because there's more at stake.
I know, but I think I'll just pack my shit and go buy me another house. Yeah, see, and then you got STDs. And so that's my thing. It's just like, I just don't think we live in the time in the world, the time in, you know, that we have that luxury to like overlook shit like that. Because, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if I could do it. 37. I just don't know if I have the wait, she said I didn't find out till after I had my baby, but I did leave after I found out. You know, and I mean, I don't know. You don't know what you would do. I don't know what I would do unless I was in the situation. I just don't want to think about it, and I just don't want to. I don't allow myself to think about that and worry about that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if I feel like I say I can work through it. I've kind of somewhat had it happen before, but it was already on the decline.
The relationship.
Yeah. So, but I've never been into like the thick of it.
Right.
And then it happened. So I don't know, but I would like to think I'm that person. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because then it's also too like I think I would be the kind of person that if I did try to work through it and stay, I would probably divest emotionally, and I'd be probably out here doing my own thing on the side. I'm like, fuck that nigga, you know. Then I'd probably be over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I would really be in it wholeheartedly. I think I would probably be like, well, shit, he got his, let me go get mine. I don't know.
Because you tit for tat.
I can be petty depending on what it is. Just
What's the one thing I could do that would dramatically improve my life?
Start utilizing your social media for your business stuff. You always talk about he doesn't want to do weddings anymore. You want to get into corporate events and designing those and that kind of thing. I think you need to use your social media more. You don't have enough of a presence for your business, for the business part of it. I'm not saying you got to be, posting personally, but I don't think you use, because I just think anybody who has a business, whether it's up and running or not, anybody who has a business or business idea, you should be utilizing Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like you need to use all of that stuff because it's free. And it's free marketing basically, and you just never know who will see it.
Right.
I sell books because of social media. If there was no social media,
that's also like because I don't think I found my true me. I haven't been doing what I wanted to do, so I've done some weddings. I haven't even posted them just because what's the point of posting them if that's not really where I want to go? You know. So I think that's kind of right now it's kind of been on hold because of that.
What's the one thing I could do that would dramatically improve my life? This is the last card, y'all.
That's a good question. I think follow your intuition.
You don't think I follow my intuition?
To a certain degree, it goes back to that which side of the tracks are you on? Because you talk about you want to be a creative writer, and you have this vision, selling these stories, but you necessarily aren't directly acting on it. You're acting on things that you think may carry you there, versus just diving yourself into the actual writing. You're holding on to what you already wrote, versus creating and practicing and strengthening those skills.
So his thing has always been like, well, I haven't seen you write anything. The thing is, I've written everything before I met him.
Right, but
and so he'll every now and then will nudge me and be like, well, what about that script that you're doing? What happened to this script? But for me, I'm not writing another book, at least right now that I can think of. I really want to get into TV, the gay like me thing, being in front of the camera, but then also I want to, I do want to write for TV as well, like develop my own shows, like scripted shows. So that's kind of where I want to go.
Right, but so what I try to tell him is just start writing, and even the things that you have written, refine it, because it's a different kind of writing when you're writing for TV. So start learning how to write and adapt to that style. And so I have him reading the script of the show I'm on now, just to kind of have him get acclimated to how it's done, all of the little pieces that art you have to think about when creative writing in that manner. So yeah, I just think if he just dives himself into it and practices those skills, he'll be surprised what may come along, and because he's been practicing, you have it available to show. It's not something that if an opportunity comes along, would you be ready right now?
I mean, I have a pilot for A Day in the Life, the stage play.
Right, but is it something that could be
Yeah.
developing, further storyline
Mhm.
wise,
But I think with that, it's almost like I have to be inspired to write. Like I like everything that I've created, whether it's the books, the play, the greeting cards, those were things that just it came to me, and I had to get it off of me, and I ended up writing it. Like I've never just been like, oh, I'm gonna go and write a book. Like it literally was like here somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and I just had to get it out. Like for me now, that's the whole gay like me thing, and like I really want to express myself in that way. Because I feel like I can, not to say that I'm gonna stop writing, because I'll never stop writing, but I think for me, I want to capture more people through these conversations, and like when Derek and I get this TV show sold, like I really feel like that's gonna just kind of do everything that I really want to do.
Right.
I don't know. I just haven't been inspired to write anything since Book of Jewels. But I did last night think that I would write another book of quotes. Because I do have a file in my phone with a bunch of quotes in here already. And so I could, work on that. That's something that I did think about yesterday. But at any rate, that is the live. That's the end of the live. That's the and. You can purchase these cards if you go over to, on YouTube, if you go over to The Skin Deep, you can click on their link on their channel, and you can purchase the cards. Like I said, somebody sent us these. This one is the couples edition. You already had the family edition. But at any rate, thank you guys for bringing me over to 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate it. And also, I was listening. They talking about listen. You're not letting him. You're not listening to what he's saying.
That's what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. But at any rate, I also put the gift registries for the housewarming. It's in the caption of the video. For those of you that have been asking me that wanted to send something, I appreciate it, and I will see you guys.
Why is he looking at the phone like he's
right? Like he know what he's looking at. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I probably will do a live tomorrow. These restaurant reviews. Let me think on it. All right. Bye.